Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Wang, and in this episode, I want to explain the traditional and simplified Chinese characters for the word
B,
When we look at the character
B,
from Oracle Bone script, it resembles a net used for catching things. On top, there are patterns resembling the net, enclosed within a frame that looks like long cattle horns. Below, there are structures or rods for catching the net. As the character evolved, the strokes for the lower part increased, and the net pattern on top transformed into a field-like character.
田
Because the character
B,
has more strokes due to its evolution, when writing it in traditional Chinese, we can add a person underneath, as if this person is opening their arms to operate this catching device. This way, when writing the traditional Chinese character
B,
we can remember that it has more strokes. If we transform this original small catching device made with twigs into a more professional one, we can see the field-like character on top as a net, surrounded by a frame resembling long cattle horns, and connected to a structure.
B,
Allows us to imagine the writing of the character graphically. Although the field-like character on top of
B,
originally meant the net's net-like patterns and not the familiar field character
田
we know now, let's explain the field character's meaning as well. A field is a pattern drawn for agricultural cultivation areas, and we can associate it with the English word terrace, which is used to pronounce the field character. So, by learning the character
B,
we simultaneously learn the character for field.
田
The character
B,
in ancient times, was employed to describe a long-handled small net used for capturing birds and rabbits. It also served as a verb, signifying the act of catching with a net. In contemporary Chinese, this original meaning is seldom used. Instead, it has transformed to convey the concepts of all or completely, and has further extended its usage to indicate completion, as exemplified in words like graduation. In contrast to the traditional character,
B,
the simplified character
B,
has made significant reductions in the character's transformation. It retains the frame of the catching device but omits the net and frame, replacing them with a character
B,
that is phonetically close to
B,
This departure from the pictographic meaning requires memorization unless explained. After our explanation, you should be able to understand the evolution from traditional to simplified
B,
while grasping the character forms. In the simplified character,
B,
the upper part is the character
B,
chosen for its phonetic similarity to
B,
and its minimum strokes. However,
B,
is the third tone, while
B,
is the fourth tone, so they are not entirely the same in pronunciation.
B,
Originally meant two people together, as you can see two people facing the same direction. So,
B,
is often used to signify unity or cooperation, as in flying wing to wing. Sometimes it is also used to indicate comparison. In the simplified character, the lower part looks like the Chinese character for 10.
10
Although it's not exactly a 10, it's worth mentioning that the Chinese character for 10
10
originated from tying a knot on a rope as a counting symbol. The first knot represents 10, the second 20, and so on. The shape of this knot, when extended outward, becomes a horizontal bar. We can see this transformation in the evolution of written characters. In this detailed explanation, we've covered the traditional character
B,
the upper part of the character
田
the simplified character
B,
and the components
B,
and
10
we've also introduced mnemonic methods for writing them and associated English sounds to help with pronunciation. Now it's time for stroke practice. As you practice, remember the stories we've shared in this episode about each stroke's relevance. Through this creative connection, I believe you'll quickly memorize the traditional character
B,
and the simplified character
B,
as well as their pronunciation. This will help you build your listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills in Chinese. I want to give a big shout out to the Learning Program for Stroke Order of Chinese Characters, supported by Taiwan's Ministry of Education, for their invaluable assistance. While you're working on mastering the stroke order, remember to keep the associated stories and pronunciations in mind to ensure effective learning. Here are the characters.
B, 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 田 田 田 B, B, 币币笔笔十十十
After you've gone through the stroke order practice, have you managed to commit the pronunciations, characters, and the stories behind these Chinese words to memory? So, there you have it, some enjoyable and memorable ways to learn Chinese pronunciations and characters using a creative method based on scaffolding learning theory. Thank you for tuning into this episode of our educational series. If you found our teaching approach helpful and enjoyable for your Chinese learning journey, please give us a thumbs up and show your support. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive more teaching episodes. Also, consider recommending our teaching videos to friends who might be interested in learning Chinese, helping them avoid the frustrations that can come with learning a new language. Your support and encouragement mean a lot to us. We'll catch you in the next episode.